Alright, this is the 1974 Volkswagen Double Cab. I imported it from the Canary Islands, which are territories of Spain, so it has Spanish license plates and registration and paperwork going back to when it was originally sold in 1975. Here I just attached my US license plate to the European license plate without drilling any holes in the body. It has Type 1 engine, which is what was sold in Europe at the time. It's super strong, starts up every time. It's never given me a single issue. I changed the oil and the screen. They looked clean. I'll look underneath it in a little bit. This is just a walk around. It's got the back door on the passenger side. These are the original panels that it came with. It's this kind of board in the back, and they had vinyl in the front. It's the original headliner. The seat lifts up, and there's a huge space in here. This is where I keep a toolbox. And some spare parts like belts and cables that you can have. It's the seal. Here's the floor. You can see the floor is really good looking. And then there's speakers in either corner. Coat hooks by every door. From back here, I guess I can get a good view of the front. Got the original steering wheel, as far as I can tell. This turn signal switch doesn't work, so they installed this switch here. And this is the horn button here. I tried to check the wiring on it, and I'm not really sure what it is. I think where the wire to this passes through the floor, I think it doesn't make a connection all the way through. It's got the handbrake, radio, vent controls. The dash is in kilometers. It's got the clock, and it keeps time correctly. Glove box. This is a windshield visor to keep the sun out if you park in the sun, and a cassette adapter. They have these air vents here that you can switch and rotate. And also there's these vents down here which open and close. The fabric doorstop. Here it is, made in Germany, with its VIN number. Underneath here is your spare tire and emergency kit. This is also where I keep a vehicle fire extinguisher, which is what they recommend. It's got these rubber floor mats with carpets fit to them, with older looking rubber floor mats beneath them, and this vinyl kick here. I'll try to peel it back more on the other side. These are the seats. It's original upholstery. This is a patch that someone put on at some point, but it's peeling back. I was planning on just putting new covers on the seats, but then just didn't. This is probably the worst bit of rust here on this front corner. You can see it bubbling under the paint. You can see it had a coating at some point, a coating to prevent rust. Windshield wipers work. That's the original license plate. It has European spec headlights, which have the daytime running lights. All the windows work good. Leave that open right now if we drive it. I replaced this speaker, it wasn't working. It had this style of old speaker, and I still have it. It does work, it was just wired incorrectly. Here's the kick plate and floor on here, on this side. It all looks good to me. Here we can check out the bed. Just lift those handles up in either corner and it folds down. This little bump here is a step to step on, although I've never stepped on it. There's these rubber bumpers to prevent it from hurting the vehicle. The original auction for this said that it's original paint on the vehicle, other than the spots where it's been clearly touched up, and that the bed was for sure repainted. You know, touch-ups are like right here in the right lighting. I don't know if you can see it on video, but there's some like little spots where the paint looks like it's been touched up slightly. The bed, it's rock solid, it's got mounting points in each corner. I've backed these screws out before and they do come out, so if you wanted to mount the metal frame canopy on top, it would be able to be installed. And then getting on top here is the roof. These chrome rails on the gutters. It's got the remnants of some sort of decal on here showing the weight. I've purposely not washed this off. I think it would be easy to remove it, scrub it off, some Goo Gone or something, but I think it's cool. It's part of its history. I was gonna try to do a test drive myself here. I brought the temp gun just to, I know it's middle of summer so it's hot out, but just to show you. I haven't driven it today. I left it parked outside after taking pictures of it yesterday and taking it on a drive because it's cooled off here in Oklahoma. So it hasn't been running in at least 24 hours. I guess it's over 100 degrees just sitting here in the sun. So Should start up with no issues. But, you know, it hasn't just been running, I guess, was the point of the temp gun. I thought that'd be more impressive, but Oklahoma's hot, man. Alright. Got my keys. This also has a power cutoff here. You can turn this key and remove it to disconnect power between the battery and the fuse box here. So if you were going to park it for a long time, or if you were worried about it getting stolen or something, you can remove that. But I try to leave power on so that the clock stays correct. And I usually keep it locked in our garage anyways, so I don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna put the phone down for a second to get my seatbelt on. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here it is. You got your first, second, third, fourth, push down and back for reverse. All the gears work great. Parking brakes on, clutch in. There's a guy walking by. I was waiting, waiting for him to pass. Yeah, let's take it around the block. Try to do this safely. Wait for this guy to go. This is pretty hard with only one hand. Alright, here we go, we're going. Almost killed it there with the clutch. Driving around. Rev it a little. Really great. There's not too much play in the steering. The brakes are responsive. Engine's responsive. Like I said in the post, I'm not sure if this has mountain gearing or not. The M codes say that it had a transmission that was mountain geared because the Canary Islands are hilly. They might be on a volcano, I'm not sure. But I'm not sure. I'd say the first gear is really low, but this is the only vintage Volkswagen I've ever driven, so I'm not really sure, I guess. My mechanic, who's a Volkswagen collector, says that when he drove it, he thought the gearing felt the same as his other vehicles. We'll turn left here and see if I can get it in the third. Like it's a crappy test drive if I'm only in the first two gears. Alright, here's third. Get in the fourth real quick, but revs are going to be, RPM's going to be real low. Oh my gosh, don't hit me, dude. Alright, we're going to head back home before I get in trouble trying to film and drive at the same time. But it's never left me stranded. It starts every time. The battery is never low. I know some old vehicles have problems with the generator or alternator charging the battery. It's not the case here. You need to make sure you remember to turn off the headlights. gauge works great. All the warning lights work. Alright, we're gonna pull in here. I drive it in the winter and it'll start when it's freezing cold outside just as well. Yeah, the emergency brake will hold it on a hill like the driveway here, but I always park manuals in first, so if the brake didn't hold, at least first would. You got seat belts for the front 2 seats, and I don't think there's a middle seat belt here, and there's no seat belts in the back. Those are available aftermarket, but that's not how they roll back then. You got a grab bar there, grab bar here. You know, all of this is really good and solid. It doesn't smell or anything. I don't smoke. I guess I don't think the guy before me smoked, but if he did, I can't tell. Yeah, you got your windows again. That's for your interior light on the dome. I've got the original light bulb that came with it, but I replaced it with an LED light bulb that's a lot brighter and uses less power. I was working my way around the vehicle to do all of that. As with any of these old vehicles, you can lock it with the key, or you push this down, and if you were to just shut it, it would unlock itself, so you don't lock yourself out of the car accidentally. You have to hold the door in to get it to work, get it to fully lock. Your gas cap is locking and is right here. There's another spit of rust there on this dent, and clearly some sort of painting there. It looks like they painted over a scratch. You know, it was a work vehicle for a long time. Put the temp gun down. Here's your antenna. Oh, I didn't show the radio. Let me unlock it real quick and just turn that on. Wrong key. I usually use the cassette adapter and listen to music off my phone, but since I'm filming on it, I can't.
And I went back to practice. So,
it reminds me of how my mom used to have to make me practice.
Yeah.
Fresh air vent, snaps all the way shut, open, and then your choose whether it's blowing on your feet or the windshield, and your hot air on and off. And here's a little hot wheel of this guy. Alright, I got my keys. Yeah, you got your air vents back here for the vehicle. Another on the other side, it also has the weight ratings. And man, I'm not sure what else to show. I'll try to get underneath here. This is for you can crank the engine from back here. You'd have to have it in neutral though. I'm not sure exactly why they do that. Maybe if you were having trouble getting it started, you'd be able to crank it from back here. Their exhaust pipes. I replaced the sump cover when I changed the oil and screen last. Alright, here's getting underneath the left side of the vehicle. I accidentally stopped the video, so here is continuing where I left off. This is on the driver's side, front of the vehicle, looking underneath it. It has a new clutch cable. And all the components on either end that it mounts to. Because it had almost worn through the clutch mounting plate. This is at the front of the vehicle, looking underneath it. This is the front right corner of it. I showed you this corner earlier with the bubbling. I'll try to stick the camera back here. I don't think it goes all the way through, but it's definitely under the paint there. Alright, here's the passenger side from the front, looking underneath. See, it looks really good overall. You can see the blue paint with its rust inhibitor coating on there. Still got this, I don't know what kind of wrapping that is. And then finally on the back here, back passenger corner. I've never had my gas stolen, so I've never tried to lock it. I guess if it ever did get stolen, I'd probably start to care. But there it is.